Hi. All right, so let me see, make sure my volume's up. Okay, so hi everybody, thanks for joining me. This is my first live, so hold on, let me make sure. Yes. All right, so I'm gonna do a few, share a few makeup tips and tricks with you guys, and show you how I go through my makeup. That's basically the point of this live. I want to continue to do more and share some more content with you and share some more easy tips and tricks on how to use our Mary Kay makeup, and also show you how easy it is. So once again, this is going to be the first of many lives where I'm going to be showing you how to do our Mary Kay makeup. So let's get started. I'm going to put this away, right? Got to put the hair away, put the hair back. So I hope everybody had a good day today. It was kind of hot, just a tad bit. So hopefully this rain comes in and cools everything down. But I just wanted you to know that I started off with a fresh face, which means if you want to have a flawless look, you have to have a fresh start. So I already cleansed my face with our Time Wise 3-in-1 cleanser. Love it. And after I've cleansed my face, I've already moisturized it with our Time Wise antioxidant moisturizing cream. So in order to have a fresh start, you definitely have to have a clean canvas. So my face is clean. I also did my eyebrows before because, you know, it's a little bit personal doing your eyebrows, and I'm starting to share this with you guys. So I already did them, but I'm gonna actually show you how to reshape them with a little bit of concealer. So next step is foundation primer. So I will be, jumbling all over the place. This is my first live, like I said, first of many. So here we have our foundation primer. Primer is amazing. I love this primer. It's a silicone-based primer. It goes on so smooth, very easy to get. So if you want it, definitely reach out to me. I always put a little bit, always start off with a little bit. A little bit goes a long way, especially in Mary Kay. I've had this bottle for probably 6 months, almost between 6 to 8 months, and I only use about a dime size. So I'm gonna place a little bit here, here, and here. And I'm gonna go in an upward motion because gravity is already, working against us, putting everything down. I really like how smooth this foundation primer goes on. It helps minimize your pores. It helps the foundation actually apply on smoother, and it has SPF 15 in it. So like I said before, if you want to have a good start to your foundation look, you have to cleanse your face. Definitely start with the clean canvas, moisturize it, and I've applied on our foundation primer, and it feels so smooth as I'm doing this. So all right, so there I have my skin already prepped, and like I told you guys, I already did my eyebrows. So I love eyebrow tint. So here we go. This is our eyebrow tint. It's so cute. It's like a little mascara. Here's the wand. It's so simple to use. I definitely recommend wiping off the excess and working with a little bit at a time. Like I said before, it's always best to work with a little bit at a time. And I also pair it with our Precision Brow Pencil. This is dark brunette, and this is dark brunette. And here I am. And when you're thinking about shaping your eyebrows, you always want to use a concealer which is about 2 shades lighter than what you are. So the concealer that I used our light beige. And concealer is the magic. It's like it's just perfect. I love it. So I'm gonna put this away because that would be the next step that I would do. All right, so now I'm gonna take out the concealer again so I can start. So I always recommend doing your eyes first, because sometimes when you're working with different shadows, they tend to, like if you have shimmer, they might disperse. And if you're putting on your translucent powder, which I'm gonna do right now, it's actually gonna help catch those so you don't have to worry about it. So the reason why I'm putting on my translucent powder is because I have oily skin. So I'm gonna put the translucent powder in my T-zone area. I'm gonna try to pack that in there, and I'm always going in an upward motion. And quick is best, so just fast and quickly, and you dab it in. And you can even go right under your eye, because sometimes, you know, with your oily skin, sometimes your liner tends to run. I will be putting it on my eyes as well, but not just yet. I want to put my concealer on first. Here it is. So, like I said, I always start with the back of my hands. I put a little bit on the back of my hands. So this is the shade. Sometimes I like to go bold. If I go bold, I go with this under eye corrector. So, like I said, you can use different things, different ways, you know. Makeup is an art. There's no set direction. So that's what's the beauty about it, is that, you know, this is your canvas and you get to be creative and you get to be an artist at work. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm actually gonna put this right here. And you can see that it's very matte, right? So I'm creating a white canvas so that I can put my color on. So that's kind of how you think of it when you're using your concealer on your eyeshadow. For your eyeshadow, I should say. You're putting it on so that it helps you create a white canvas. And I like to use my ring finger. Yes, I will use a brush, but the more that you can use your finger and less tools around your eye area, the better. So, and I even try to go in here to the inner corners. I love brightening out my inner corners because of the type of eyes that I have. Sometimes they seem as if they're hooded, so whenever you're applying your makeup, you're gonna see how I'm gonna make sure to keep my eyes open and keep them bright. And I still have the concealer here. So now we're gonna put some translucent powder on it, and I love this Mary Kay brush. It really helps it pack it in. I'm gonna dab a little bit, and now I'm gonna put this on. So this is helping to set the concealer, because sometimes, you know, with your oily skin, if you don't do this and you put your eyeshadow on, then sometimes it seems to crack, and that's why. So now you know. You can use your translucent powder to help pack it in. And I know you're like, wow, that's really white. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because like I said, you're gonna use this to help you start a fresh start to apply that makeup on. And this actually makes your makeup look brighter. Yes, it does. So the base that I like to use is something that's actually close and similar to the translucent powder and the concealer, and that's Sandcastle. So our Chroma Fusion eyeshadows are amazing. So you're gonna see I'm still using the same brush. I just wiped it off. I have a cloth, and as you can see, I'm doing quick dabs, and I'm gonna go all around. So this is just a fast way to help me add color to that canvas that I just created. So I am showing you how I do my makeup look, and I'm showing you how I do it from start to finish. So thanks for joining me. And this is actually my first time doing this live on Facebook. And like I shared before, this is going to be the first of many. So you guys are going to be practicing with me, learning with me, seeing how easy our Mary Kay products are easy to use. Then you can holla at your girls, you could come get them. So, and the reason I like to go out like this, I said before, in the inner corners, because it just helps brighten up your eyes when you have the lighter colors inside, and you're gonna see that as I'm creating. So I like to continue on that same pattern. So I was using Sandcastle, and sometimes I just find it easier to use the same brush. You can brush it off, you can give it a little spray with our brush cleaner or cleanser, however you want to pronounce it, and brush it off a little bit. So now the next thing I like to go into is a soft heather. So this soft heather is like a lavender, and it just helps blend in the concealer that I already used, which was very, very light because I wanted to create that white canvas to start on. And then I went in with the Sandcastle color, right? So it's like I'm working my way up the color pattern. So I can still keep the brightness, and then I'm gonna go into some color. And when I apply it, I always do a little bit at a time, because a Mary Kay, a little bit goes a long way. And I love our Chroma Fusion eyeshadows. You're gonna see how this is gonna start to blend in. So another one of my favorite colors is Frozen Iris, because it's gonna add a little shimmer to this. But now that I have it like as bright as I really want it to be, I'm gonna go in with our Merlot. So now Merlot is, since the soft heather is like a lavender fog, think of it like that. Now I'm gonna go in with that Merlot. Merlot is gonna be a darker purple, and I'm gonna pack that in right in the corner and blend it in. So looking for a smaller brush to pack it in. And it's gonna be messy. When it's messy, it helps you make an easier blend. And I'm gonna go in an upward motion. And also I want you to notice that I leave my eye open. When you leave your eye open, it also helps make it easier for you to accentuate your makeup. Sometimes when you close it, it also adds to that crease look that you might have. So I gotta take a moment because I want to make sure that everything's even. I don't want to look wonky for you guys as I'm doing this for the first time. So another thing that I like to think of is this bone right here, which is like right below the brow. I like to like stop right there when I'm using a bright color. Well, yeah, I do. Bright color, dark color. So right now this is where I'm gonna stop, and I feel the bone and I make sure. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm going. And I've used this brush enough to help pack it in. Always clean off your brush, wipe your brush. Now I'm gonna go get our blending brush. I have so many brushes. You know, I heard a makeup artist say that, you know, you don't have one fork in the sink, so you shouldn't have one makeup brush, you know, in your kit. So the next thing I like to do is I'm gonna go in with our Frozen Iris. And when I go in with the Frozen Iris, you see how I kind of like made these lines? That's my guide. Now I closed it only because I want that Frozen Iris there. I want that little bit of shimmer. You see how it's starting to shimmer a little bit? So I want it to shimmer there, and I'm using the blending brush. And now my eye stays open. And I'm actually gonna go above, right below this arch area here, because that's gonna help make the look pop. And it also helps brighten your eyes. Right, so this is Frozen Iris. Oh, I love Frozen Iris. So right now you're looking at stripes, but that's the whole point of blending. Blending is key. Blending helps your look seamless. And as soon as I got to the top, if you saw, I opened my eye right away. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush, I'm going to dab off a little bit of the Frozen Iris, and now I'm going to blend. And when you blend, just use the brush lightly. And I'm going downward, kind of like a triangle. I try to think of shapes. And I go upward as well. You can raise your brow to help you. And I'm still working with the same brush. Sorry about that. And now we go over here. And we just continue to blend. And like I said before, I like to go downward because now what that's going to do is that's going to help add a little shadow and light to the bottom of my eye. And I didn't even have to add any additional product. Like I said, all I'm doing is I still took our blending brush and I'm going to continue to blend until I like how it looks. So I want to blend here a little bit more. And that's why it's great just going a little bit at a time. So far I like how this is coming along. So let's say if you wanted to start to add your eyeliner, so to see how your look is going to come out. That's what I like to do. So I like a little color. This is our waterproof eyeliner in blue. I think that adding color underneath the eye helps the makeup pop. It glides on very easily. Liking it already. Today we're gonna try the lip oil. I'm gonna unbox it with you guys. I've never done it before. But I love our waterproof eyeliners. We have them in blue, emerald, you know, everybody loves their black. We have our deep brown, whatever you need. Oh, we have this amethyst color. We have black, like I said. There's copper, the copper gold. I'm going to use the copper gold. I'll use the copper gold in our look today. And I'll use this lavender one, the amethyst one. So I went down and I have the blue here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of our amethyst, since we're talking about it, and our gold. So I'm going to take this amethyst right here. That's a purple one. And if you go, sometimes some people will like take a Q-tip and lift their eye like this so they can go underneath the eye. So what it does, it helps fill in the color. Oh, it just finished on my lip, this color. Yeah, so there we go, going live. There we go, going live. So how about I just do that over here for you. So it helps fill it in. Now, I said I was going to show you a little bit of the gold, which is our copper. So I'm going to put it right here in our inner corner. And I'm going to make it messy. There we go. All right, so sometimes I like to add just a little bit of more shimmer. I love the frozen iris, so sometimes I get a little happy, but there's another color that I really like, and golden peach. Golden peach just gives it an additional little highlight. I love it. So I'm gonna take the golden peach and I'm gonna continue to work in. So if you notice, I worked my way outward to in. That's how I create my shadows. That's how I create my looks. So since I remember I went here, so now I'm gonna go right here. Right in front of it. My eye is open and I'm just gonna dab. I'm not even going onto my lid here. I'm stopping right underneath the brow because it helps create an iridescent look. And I do quick dabbing motions. And sometimes I always raise my brow just a little bit so I can continue on with that effect. of brightening my eyes. So here it is. Or like I said, if you want to continue, we can continue and we can bring it downward. So if you bring it downward, it's just very easy. And I didn't apply on additional shadow. I just took what we already had. And I'm just using the brush to blend it in. Alright, so since I put the gold in the inner corner, I'm going to continue with our blue outline. Putting away a little bit of the amethyst that I put underneath. Now I'm going back to our blue. You can still see I still have the concealer, not wasting product because we're coming back to that. So as you can see, it's very easy the way it expands. And I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to actually put it right on my lash line. I just feel like it helps the eyeliner pop, and then when I put my mascara on, it looks cool as well. So I'm putting it right on the lash line. And like I said, I'm going to stop right where the gold was. That's it. Sometimes I like to create weird wings, but sometimes I like to add on a little bit of color to the blue so it just accentuates the eyeshadow. That's what's cool about it. So here we have the eyeliner. Love it. Holler at me if you need it. And let's say if you wanted to add a little bit more color to the eyeliner, you can. So I'll show you that another time. So right now I think I'm okay. I like how this is looking. So what I want to do now is I want to go back to the concealer. I have a little bit of the concealer here. What the concealer does, it helps brighten up the areas that we are going to be blending away. Because when we apply on our foundation, like the foundation, what does it do? It helps your skin look evenly natural, right? It gives it like an even natural complexion. So it's going to take away some of those natural lightings that we have. So like before, sometimes I don't wear foundation when I'm doing my eyes, but you know, sometimes I do. If you see a post that I posted earlier, oh, my apologies, I'm like going ahead. So here I am. I'm going to go in an upward motion very quickly, and it's okay to go right underneath your eye because like I said, if you have to apply more eyeshadow at the end, that's not a big deal. Here I am, fast. I think the term is like stippling. I'm gonna learn more for you guys and share, but definitely in an upward motion along the cheekbone. We're gonna put on some translucent powder also. Oh, forgot the Cupid's bow. Right? Where light hits. Don't forget the Cupid's bow. And the reason I chose this brush is because it's almost like a foundation brush, but it's a little bit more dense and shorter. So I prefer that. You can use a sponge. You don't want to go too out, like too much, because we're going to be blending that in with our foundation. So here I am. I know you look weird, right? But it's going to work out in the end. Here's my translucent powder. Because I got oily skin, so I like to make sure. And then I start to apply on my foundation. I just do this before. I use the translucent powder a lot because I know my skin. I definitely know my skin. All right, so today's foundation, I'm going to be using our Mary Kay Time Wise Matte 3D Foundation in bronze 150. All right, that's what we're doing today. You know, I like to switch it up. Sometimes I really love the Cream to Press Powder Foundation. That's a great one. So whenever I'm applying it, I love to use a brush. We have a wonderful, wonderful brush. I'll demo that in my next video. So like I said, I like to work with it on the back of my hand. I dab my brush quickly, and I'm gonna go in an upward motion. And you don't have to worry too much about going by the eye area because you already put in the concealer. I like to brush on the side of the nose though, right? So this is gonna help me blend this in. And then we're gonna be doing some contouring today. So we have a wonderful cocoa contouring powder, which I'm going to be showing you today how I use to help me with my look. Like I said, I go in fast motions. I go upward, blending the brush. You know, you don't have to be so close to the eye area. I like to brush by the nose. When I get here, sometimes I switch my brush because I don't want to mess up. I did all this work by my brow, so sometimes I will switch off my brush, which is absolutely fine, because you don't want to mess up all this work that you've been doing, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be changing brushes very shortly. So I really don't want to do that. So let's just do that right now. Thank you. There we go. And I actually have a smaller brush when I'm working by my nose area. All right, so it's going to be some powdering time. Absolutely. So as you saw before, this brush had nothing on it. So now we're going to be blending. Remember, you're creating that canvas so that we can add that color. Right? We're going to add in our blush. We're going to be adding in our cocoa contouring powder, our setting powder. But like I said, we want to blend. All right. I even like to blend here as well. Okay, so next up. So I love our cocoa contouring powder. It's very simple. And I love our brush. We have a wonderful brush for it. So cocoa contouring powder. And you know, you can use the CC cream. Didn't know if you knew that. Giving me life already. See that? And the way that this brush is, it just makes it so easy to apply on. Look at that. Loving it. All right. Now we're gonna make sure to go by those areas where we were before. And don't worry, because we're always gonna go in with a brush with nothing on it to help us blend it. Don't forget these areas here. All right, now I'm gonna use my smaller brush to help me. And because my face is round, I wanna go work around this area here. Make sure that I leave these illuminated areas for you. And now let's get the smaller brush so that I can show you how I'm going to apply it to my nose. All right, our smaller brush, and I'm gonna go here and here. So it's kind of like the inner bridge here. And I like to flat it out. All right, add a little bit more if you want to. That's what I'm gonna do for you guys. So I love our cocoa contouring powder. If you need it, holler at me. It's very easy to get. I applied that here on my cheekbone area, also elongated it here on my nose to help me with my contouring. Now I'm going to be using our Mary Kay setting powder. Love it. Very, very love it. So I like to use a lot of powder products because I have oily skin. So the powder products just help it pack in easier. Gonna go with this big old brush. I just like how it helps me continue to set the look that I've created. And I just think about going in the areas where I contoured. Alright, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be applying on some blush. So I know that a lot of people like to apply on cream brushes, and we do. We do have some cream blushes, but I just love our Mary Kay Chroma Fusion blushes. I'm going to be using 2 blushes here just to keep going with the look that we're going with. So in our palette, you can create it any way that you want, and it's magnetic. And what's here, I'm going to be using our Wineberry. As you can see, I love this one. This is our Wineberry Chroma Fusion. And after I use the Wineberry, I like to give myself a little bit with the strawberry cream. And I know. Because it's summertime, sometimes I like to use this hot coral to give it a pop. So for today, let's do the hot coral and the strawberry cream. And I always add a little gold, you know? Always add a little gold. So what I love about the contouring brush is that I actually like to use it for my Chroma Fusion. When I am doing the gold, I just flip it and use it like a fan brush. So that's what I'm going to do at the end. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure to spray off the, you know, the cocoa contouring powder that we had on. So I hope that, you know, this is coming along for you. You can see how easy it was. I know in the beginning you're like, wow, it looks kind of weird, but you have to think about starting off with that white canvas so that you can get that flawless look. So I'm going to put on our hot coral. I'm going to start upward here. Look at that. Just like additional sun kiss. Always do this face, right? So I love it. I love how that looks. I really do. That's hot coral. So if you're thinking, oh, because you know you're brown skin or whatever, I play with every color because it's going to look different on our melanin skin, and it's going to look different on our complexion, so you never know what you're going to get. So I like to have fun with it. I still take the same brush, I just brush it off a little bit, and then I go in with that strawberry. I like the strawberry. I like how it just highlights and gives me like a shimmer. I feel like I'm like in a fairy tale or something. I do. I love how it gives additional shimmer. I love it. Yeah, I really do. I love this one. And lastly, just do a little bit of that. And lastly, I'm going to take our fan brush. I'm going to take our brush here. I'm going to turn it over, use it like it's a fan brush. And now I'm going to go a little bit above. Cute and slow. Put a little here, and the reason I did that is because you're going to put it in the areas where the light hits. Alright, so now I am going to try this gloss with you guys. So this is actually not a gloss. This is our new lip oil. It's a tinted lip oil. What's great about this is that you know, when you do make a purchase, $1 goes towards our foundations. Mary Kay has donated over $92 million towards breast cancer foundation and domestic abuse, so we definitely do care. So I am going to try for you, you saw that right, that like definitely showed my age. I'm going to be trying the rose blush. We're going to be doing this together. So this is cute. Oh, this is cute. Do you see that? All right, so let's do this. I love it. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, I'm sold. Oh my gosh. I think I like this better than a lip gloss. Oh my. Ooh. Oh, well, I think I like this better than the lip gloss. I really like this. Okay, so now that I shared that with you, you can definitely get this from me. Think about giving back, you know, with your purchase. $1 goes towards our foundation. So definitely think about how Mary Kay continues to give over 60 years in the game, and we continue to give with every dollar that we make. So that's definitely rewarding, knowing that when you're buying something from, you know, your Mary Kay rep, you know, your Mary Kay girl, you're actually giving back. And that's something that we do. Even when our packages come, our peanuts are recycled. A lot of our bottles are recycled, like the containers that we have. So just think about how you want to give back to the planet and not be wasteful. Mary Kay, we have our own distribution center here, so we do everything here. So here's the lip gloss. And another thing that we're going to do now is we're going to put on our finishing spray. The reason I'm going to put my finishing spray on before I put on my mascara is because when you do that, you don't want the mascara to bleed. So I'm going to put on my finishing spray in the T-zone area. That's it. So the finishing spray helps your makeup look last 12 to 16 hours long. Now I'm going to be using our Great Heights mascara. I love our Great Heights mascara. As soon as it came out, I've been using it. I have not changed. I actually like our lash intensity. So for our next look, I will show you our lash intensity. All right, so I'm gonna put on the next one. So as you can see, this is our Great Heights mascara. And a tip when you're wearing your mascara, you're not supposed to pump the mascara in the wand. You're supposed to put it in, turn it in a circular motion, only because when you do that, you're putting in like air bubbles, which are attracting bacteria. Then you're getting lash mites on your lashes, and you definitely do not want that at all. So the reason I'm looking at this, because I do not want to make this beautiful look and then mess it up because I put on my mascara. So here I am, and I'm going to put on the mascara. So I'm so happy that you joined me. I'm going to be doing this once a week, picking different colors. Today I went with like a purple look. You know, next week I think I'll do for you guys, let's do green. That'll be fun. I know, right? Let's do green. Yeah, let's just go for it. We have our emerald. I'll use our emerald eyeliner. I did a green look with our emerald eyeliner. I did a Grinch. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was my first time doing it. All right, so here is my completed look. I am done. So thank you. I'm going to post all the products that I used today, but this is my finished Mary Kay look. I hope that you like it. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good night.